I'm gonna warn you, this video you're about to watch is insane. So brace yourself for an hour of greatness. Blizzards. Wildlife. Temperature. 3 things that make or break a man in Alaska. Can you guess the 4th? Fear. I thought surviving here would be easy, but it was far from it. It all started off in this forest here. Everything was peaceful. Guys, it's just me in the wilderness out here. I walked around a bit and was a little too caught up on the view of this place. Especially the river over here just looked amazing. For some reason, I'm thinking I'm gonna get lost out here. I went down the hillside to see what else was below and found something waiting for me. Wait, what is that? No. There's a wolf right behind me. You're telling me I have to survive with wolves in the forest? Luckily, I snuck away from there with my life intact. But reality was starting to set in. I was naked and afraid out in the wilderness, just like these mushrooms that tore from the ground. And as I walked farther, I stumbled upon a small beaver den of some sort down by the river, so of course I paid that a visit. Yo, is that a beaver? Are you friendly little beaver? This dude's just vibing out here on a little tree. I kept exploring and encountered a hard enemy. Boom, yeah, look at it, fighting the trees out here. With the wood I got, I crafted the basic tools and dug a hole until I reached stone to craft some more. It was time to find a place to build, but I got a bit distracted. Yo, you see that giant hill right there? I'm climbing it. So I trekked up the snowy terrain and fell right through it. Alright, I was not expecting this. The mountains have powdered snow, and a lot of it. Are you serious? I really have frostbite. Bro. It took a bit of patience and pain, but eventually I made it up this mountain. Yo, look at that. We made it. We got 3 iron already. How about that? And that right there was incredibly lucky because ore throughout this whole place was extremely scarce. I got a good look at everything around me and spotted a cool ice mountain off in the distance to journey towards. But first, I wanted to smelt this iron because if there was one thing that I could use the most in the wilderness, that would be flint and steel. All right. It's time to push through the wilderness. Yeah, I almost died halfway down the mountain. And to make matters worse, my hunger was almost non-existent. Yo, are those berries? I am actually saved right now. I arrived at the base of the mountain where I got flint from the gravel to craft the flint and steel. And I raced to the top as the sun was setting. Yo, we have made it to the ridge. And time for the great reveal. What is on the other side? Yo, what? Okay, what's on the other side? Bruh. It's literally an endless expanse of icebergs. What the heck? I was hoping there'd be a giant grassy meadow of some sort, but I took what I got and made the best of it by eating mushroom stew and watching the northern lights from above. But like all things, this small moment of peace eventually came to an end. Oh, yo, it's starting to snow. Oh, wait a sec. This is not good, actually. This is very bad. I kind of realized this was Alaska and frostbite exists, so I ran across the ice looking for a cave anywhere I could take shelter in. Yo, I think that's a cave. Please do not die. I found a nice open looking cave area where I tried making charcoal to heat up and build a campfire before I got hypothermia, and that's pretty much where I spent the rest of this night. As we're here freezing in Alaska, let me tell you the tale of a game called Honkai Impact III. This is a game from Hoyoverse, the same people who gave us the great game of Genshin Impact, and who are currently cooking up Honkai Star Rail. Now, what makes this something special? Well, something big is coming May 18th, version 6.6. In this, they're adding a new robust storyline with insane unique characters and activities. If you thought chapter 36 was good, well, hold on to your seats because chapter 37 is where it gets even better. They're introducing a whole new combat system called Inscribed Whispers, which basically gives the game a whole new wardrobe, adding new attributes, with each one coming with its own set of skills and visual effects. On top of all that, the art style in this game is actually insane. Check the pinned comment and link to become a legend. Also, use the code above to get 30 crystals, 2,888 asteroids, and 1 character trial card for free. Big thanks to Honkai Impact for sponsoring this video, and now back to freezing in Alaska. Day 2, the snow cleared, and I was definitely ready to leave this place. Yep, the polar bears are still there. Okay, well, nope. I walked across the ice, very low on hunger, without a care in the world, until I reached the forest. You know, will I find food? I went rabbit hunting, just looking for anything really, and the one I found just dropped nothing. I made it down to a nearby river and saw salmon just jumping around, but unfortunately, when I hopped in the water, I started getting frostbite, so that was not an option. So what did I do? Cut down more trees and crafted a campfire. I am literally starving right now. How have I not found one bit of food? I warmed up beside the fire and then a miracle happened. No way. Is that what I think it is? That is a deer right there. I had one shot at this, so I crafted a canoe and sailed over while it was still there. Please do not run away. Please. Of course. I was too slow for the deer, and they all just ran off. But fortunately for me, I was led right to some berry bushes. Yo, okay. It was a miracle after all. It was a miracle. I really thought that was the end for a sec, and now since I had energy, one thing was clear to me. I needed to make a food source, like one that was reliable and not so I'm starving every day. So I got to getting wheat seeds and building a little farm by the river towards night. You know, this place is looking nice, gotta say. We gotta bring the campfire back. It's all the way on the other side. So that's where I started to set up the camp. I chopped down enough trees around here to start a fire and build a shelter. The next day, I watched the sunrise over the river and checked on the wheat, but this is not good. Why is the wheat not growing? I put 2 and 2 together and realized since this is Alaska and it was cold, farming was gonna be more difficult. And as you can tell, I was back to being hungry again, so time for another adventure deeper into the forest. And that's when I saw it, a giant bear. Yo, that thing is huge. Please do not eat me. I come in peace. I promise. Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm not even risking this. Who thought we'd be relying on mushrooms to survive out here in the wilderness? Dodging bears, literally. I was still lacking a bed in all of this, so I went out hunting for sheep to get wool and found this nice little area that opened up to a meadow. But unfortunately, nothing was there. So back to camp I went. Yo, what should I add around here? Not bad. It's looking good. Before the sun sets, I went on a hunt for string, looking for a cave, finding berries along the way. Yo, this looks like the one. We're going in. I entered in and kind of freaked out a bit. I just lit them all on fire, basically. And then I got chased out of there, nearly dying. So, is that spider after me still? Oh, it is after me. Okay. Never thought I'd be parkouring away from a spider in the Alaskan wilderness. Chill. Okay, now there's bees after me. Why? And when I went down the hill, a grizzly was waiting for me. I snuck out of there slowly, like nothing happened, climbing a mountain to get a good view of this nice sunset. Now that I'm not dying, I gotta say, today was hectic. But look at this view. This view is worth it. Day 4, I watched the sunrise, put out the fire, and made my way down the mountain. Hey, free mushrooms. I'll take it. I followed along this nice river to make it back to camp and found berries in the forest. I'm feeling a little lazy, so I'm making a boat. I was back at camp, and of course the seeds didn't grow. I opened up the barrel, but realized I literally had a whole lot of nothing and was kind of broke out here in the wilderness. But in the corner of my eye, I spotted a sheep. Oh my gosh. The greatest things in life are always unexpected. My hope for survival is restored. And after that, I had the motivation to do some lumberjacking around here. You know, I never thought I would be using a bowl to cook meat. Gotta do what you gotta do. Not a fan of the extra room. I'm taking it down. Food was tough and I needed a place to fish, so I spent the day building a pier and chopped trees for it. Hey, it's nothing too crazy, okay? It's just the first addition to the base camp. I crafted a sleeping bag with the wool, and then I heard howling in the distance. That does not sound good.
What the heck is that? Wolves came out of nowhere from the forest and were not friendly at all. There is really a wolf chasing me right now. Okay, nope. The flint and steel is not working. Oh my gosh, what the heck? I'm totally dead. I was forced out of my base and had to swim across the entire river, which meant I was also fighting against freezing to death. The flint and steel came in handy, making quick flames to warm up. I didn't think this is how I'd get my first night's rest, but what can you do? Okay, day 5. Let's make today better than yesterday. I think anything can be better than yesterday at this point. Today I ventured into the wilderness as a hungry man looking for food. I had a couple embarrassing moments. Come on, rabbit. Are you serious right now? The heck, bro. And I climbed an ice ridge. Why is the snow always like this? Why I'm always freezing out here. After searching anywhere and everywhere for anything that moved, I found berries on a hillside and got a bit of flint from a gravel patch. What do we got here? This is probably the coolest cave I think I have ever seen. While it was the coolest, it was also filled with a bunch of angry spiders. Yo, come here, spider. What are you doing? Yep, that is what you get. Yes. No, I do not like spiders, as you can tell. Which, luckily for me, dropped the string that I needed so I could craft the perfect item, a bow. Now I was able to hunt, which would definitely come in handy when I'm low on hunger and can barely move. I'm sorry, bird, but today, this bird got a bit unlucky. Dang, I thought it'd drop like at least a feather, but now I just feel bad. I totally purposely spared the squirrel, but the goat, not so much. Towards sunset, I came across what looked to be an old village buried in snow. I looted everything I could from here, but even though there really wasn't hardly anything besides a few potatoes, there was one villager left keeping this place running all alone, so I just left him be living out his life. Hey, yo, I have spotted deer. Today we're eating good, let's go. I spent the night on top snow, eating the deer, and on the next morning, I said goodbye to the villager. If this villager somehow survives through everything, he's a real legend. That's all I can say. Into the forest I went, looking for new lands to conquer, and really just a nice place to set up camp without wolves or polar bears knocking at my door. We gotta stock up on the berries when you see them. Yo, we got wild gooses right here. Is that an otter? What the heck? This place is actually wild. I spotted a cave beyond the lake, so that was where I was set to go and expand. Okay, time to check it out. After sparing a goose and navigating through a whole horde of them, I made it on the other side. While almost dying, just falling through the ice, of course, getting frostbite. Really, Alaska, why are you doing this to me, man? I ran into the cave and created a fire to stop from freezing, and now had a good moment to check out what was around here. You know what? Good enough. We're not really looking for anything spectacular. I crafted a shovel and made an entrance. Then used the snowballs to... I just threw the snowballs at the geese, really. How did I miss this? Coal, literally right above me. I crafted torches out of that coal and placed dirt to take a peek around the cave, just lighting this whole place up. The next day, I ran across the ice trying not to get frostbite, but that did not work. Goose, you are in my way. The heck? Nothing like heating up with flint and steel again. Would you look at that? I went looking for string because having a fishing pole would be nice since I was right next to a lake. I checked out the nearby caves, taking out spider after spider and chasing a bird. After a good day's work, my hunger was about to hit 0, so I crafted more arrows and came across a deer along the riverbank. But now it was just a race between the frostbite and me making a fire. Yeah, I think I might have gone a little bit overboard here. At least we've got food. I hit a couple more spiders, nearly dying, hunted more deer, before booking it back to the base at sunset. Yo, there's some penguins. Yeah, I challenged them to a snowball fight, and I think I played around with it too much. It just kind of fell through the ice. I'm sorry, penguin. And moments later, I got frostbite. And a couple more moments later, I ended up setting a Tweety bird's house on fire to survive. Guys, this is not a proud moment. We are down bad. Back at the cave, I mined out an area for future space. and added stairs along the entrance. I also made a hot tub, but really it was freezing out here in Alaska, so I just put a fire next to it. The morning of day 8, I hunted deer to restore my hunger and ventured in to explore what was even in this cave. I don't even know. When I walked through, this place was full of dripstone everywhere, and I also had these cool like glowing things on the walls. I thought they were neat. Then this bat just decided to spawn in out of nowhere, and I tried trapping it, just following it around here, so I had a little friend in the cave, but obviously that did not work. And I mined the dripstone before getting out of here because it just led to a dead end, really. I left the cave saying hi to a goose and looked for gravel so I could get flint to make more arrows. But I was left stranded all night on the other side of a mountain, having to repair a bunch of broken tools and chop down trees. Then climbed up a hill and set up a fire where I got some good rest. The next day was the day to furnish the cave. It was just a bunch of stone and rock right now, but I used the wood I got from yesterday to create a chest and organized all the goods that I had, then crafted a boat to sail across the lake, where I spotted a patch of gravel and got some flint. And it was time for an adventure. I ventured out across the river, going across the ice, and got frostbite. Eventually, the ice came to a dead end, and I had to travel on foot. Yo, to Seal. What's up, Seal? How you doing? How's life out here? This place had a bunch of Arctic animals just vibing, but I couldn't stay long, so I was back out on the canoe. I rode and rode until I made it to the icebergs and almost got eaten by a polar bear, basically. Yo, that was way too close for comfort. I explored around looking for a good fishing spot, and how am I gonna fish without a fishing rod? Using this amazing wooden spear I crafted, I spotted the fish and got ready to throw the spear, but got visited by a penguin just teasing me. These things just jumped in the water and they literally just ate all my fish I was trying to catch. I was all prepared, you know? I had the spear, I had everything, and the penguins, look at them, just swimming around in the water. It was starting to get dark and I didn't have any idea what was out there. I was not trying to die and get eaten by some type of polar bear that comes out at nighttime. I know, was not about it. So I got one fish before heading out, and then right there, out of all times, a snowstorm struck. I was freezing to death and got frostbite, so my only option now was to take cover, and I just went straight to where the nearest cover was, which was an iceberg. Here is the deal. I was surrounded by penguins, and I really didn't want to take them out. I was starving. Tomorrow couldn't have come any sooner. The snow cleared up, and I got back on my boat to leave this place. And on the way out, I was causing havoc. Literally, I got chased down by a polar bear. Dude, why are they actually so fast? What the heck? Here we are, just another day in Alaska. I was on a hunt for food, and luckily I came across a bunny. But yeah, a wolf ate it right in front of me. Is it after me? Yeah, it's after me. After nearly escaping death there, I froze a bit and almost died a bit more. Then took shelter in this sinkhole ridge looking thing, where I lit some spiders on fire and crafted a fishing rod. I looked around for a nice spot where I could just do some fishing and chill, and I took in the nice landscape while the sun was setting. And finally, I found the perfect spot, just a little secluded island out here. So I started a fire and mined the stone to craft a furnace, then cooked up the fish. And of course, the wolves started showing up around me because it was nighttime. I booked it out of there, was not about that, getting frostbite, and was led to a couple sheep on top of the hill. It was basically a race between me dying of frostbite and me setting up a fire. And luckily, at the start of day 11, I made it alive with one heart left. I cooked up all the food I got from yesterday, and now I wasn't starving. Today, I got back on that canoe and rowed up down the river. I tried finding my way back to the cave, but yeah, I kind of lost the cave. It was nowhere in sight. I think the snowstorm buried it or something. I was officially lost. There was a flock of chickens in the side, so I stopped over to them, and out of all things that could happen, it began raining. I wasn't sure if the rain gave you frostbite, but I sure wasn't sticking around to find out. So I dug a small hole into the side of a mountain and slept it away. Okay. Day 12, I got back in the boats and carried on, getting impatient, coming across a whole lot of nothing. When, out of nowhere, I went down a small stream and found a small village tucked away. This place was like a hidden gym. There were some chicken just sitting out for some reason, so I got some of that and explored around. This place was completely empty, just a bunch of birds everywhere. I found a chest with a lot of potatoes and bread. Yo, did I just hear growling? What? Nope, definitely not empty. I'm guessing there was nothing here because of the wolves. I was not getting near them, so I mined gravel, getting flints to craft arrows, and went to war with the wolves over the village. Yo, this is unfortunate for the wolves. I found an apple and night arrived. There were a couple more wolves that were just chilling around here, so I took cover in a random house. Yo, okay, so people are alive in the village. And we got a little bird here too, what the heck? Well, there is no way this dude is surviving all alone out in the wilderness. Day 13, I was gonna make it my goal to protect Boy the villager here. But first, I had to get rid of the remaining wolves. Yo, there is another villager on the hill. What? Yo, there's a wolf behind it. Oh my gosh. Are you serious right now? What is attacking me? Well, guys, I think the wolf ate him. I checked out to see if the villager was there, but nah, he was a goner. I was good on food, but needed to tend to my weapons. I chopped the trees down around here, getting wood, so I had enough resources for the next trip. And I used the wolf fur to make a coat, so hopefully that would help with the frostbite and I'm not dying every second. Now it was time to search for a cave because I wanted to find more iron. Hey, look at those dudes. Some ferrets. I don't think you eat this, but here you go. I found a deep ravine, sinkhole type cave over here and used the water stream to make it to the bottom. Hey, we already have iron. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. And now we also have frostbite. Yo, let's go. I looked around the cave a bit and this place looked insane, but I really needed to heat up, so I set up the fire and chilled for a bit. Yo, not gonna lie, this place looks amazing. Now that I was warmed up, I went deeper into the cave fighting off spiders and ventured farther into the earth, basically. Guys, this was a bad idea. This was not good. I had frostbite and was at the bottom of a cave now. There was only one way out of this, the grappling hook. I smelted the iron and gathered everything I needed for this before heading up and desperately attempting to exit out of here, really out of all times, for it to rain. It rains now. Hey, let's give it a go. Hey, that was okay. That was actually pretty easy. What the heck? I said goodbye to the ferrets and rushed back to the village. The rain turned to snow and I was on the brink of death. But luckily, I made it back in time. Oh, yo, the villager. Wonder if this dude's alive still. Hey, he survives. Look at this man. He's a legend. Tonight I used the iron to craft an iron spear and cooked up the chicken. The next day, I put a wolf head on the wall and cooked the sheep. And when I went outside, the blizzard had luckily cleared. Hey, what up, otter? How's life been for you? Look at me trying to feed an otter bread. What am I doing? Today, I wanted to test out this new spear with a bit of hunting, but instead of finding food right away, I made a detour at a nearby hot spring. Yo, it's a miracle. Water that doesn't give me frostbite. Ouch. Oh, okay, maybe too much. I traveled along the forest and mountains until I made it to a nice lake filled with geese. I threw my spear at it and hit it, but the spear kinda fell to the bottom of the lake, so yeah, not good. But luckily for me, this water was similar to the hot spring and was connected to a warm ocean biome. So I visited all the mobs I could and took a swim without dying. I spent the rest of the day on the canoe in the lake, just fishing and watched the sunset over the hill before falling asleep. I spent the entirety of the next day logging, getting wood, and went through multiple axes doing this, and also made an enemy with a woodpecker somehow. Bro, I swear, if that woodpecker keeps making that noise. Alright, yep, the spirit is. I was done with the wood chopping and had more than enough wood that anyone needed. I was not in the mood to get frostbite at this point. I just created a bridge to cross the river this time. Not sure if I was even gonna use it in the future. Just made a bridge. And just like that, it was done. So I made a chair where I just sat there fishing and watching the northern lights before falling asleep. To start the next day, I watched the sunrise and broke my own ankles while returning back to the village. Hey, boy is alive and well. Didn't get eaten by wolves. It's a miracle. I couldn't help but realize how messy this whole place was, so I went around today organizing what was left of the village, just clearing out trees and whatever snow was in the way. Yeah, I got just a bit carried away. Oh, yo, no, the bird is on fire. What the heck? After Bob Rossing about everything in this village, I saw something. A hibernating bear. So guess what I did? I hit the bear. And I don't know what I was expecting doing this. I got chased down into the house with Boy, the villager here. I honestly didn't know. I didn't know what I was thinking. Here we were trapped in a small house with a giant grizzly right outside the door. Okay, what am I gonna do? Like, actually, what am I doing here? I'm gonna try to make an exit from the back. And if it doesn't work, I'm building a campfire back here. Well, that didn't work out. Why is this villager so happy? There's literally a grizzly right here, man. On top of everything, it started to snow again. In day 17, the bear left, but the snow remained. What should I do with this villager, guys? Okay, I'm naming you Boy, and you cannot stay here, or you're gonna end up freezing to death or getting ate by a bear or something. So now there was only one item that could solve everything, a lead. That way the villager wouldn't just be stuck here and he could just tag along the journey. But to make one, I needed slime, which only exists deep down in the earth. So you know what? It's time for an expedition. Bro, I am really walking in the freezing cold across the mountains of Alaska right now to save a baby villager. Why do I get myself in these scenarios? I kind of just went on a tangent as I walked around looking for a cave that could lead deep down. Luckily for me, the snow eventually stopped and I found a crazy mountain formation that looked promising. But you know what wasn't promising? The wolves were tracking me. My every moment, my every step. Okay, come on, these stupid wolves. Okay, they just keep following me. First it's the bear, now it's the wolves. I didn't know of any way to keep these things from staying away. They just spawned in packs following me everywhere I went, so I just booked it. I made a bit of distance between me and the wolves, eventually making it to the rock formation. And you would not believe what I found. This cave literally looked like something out of a movie. Picture perfect, I'm telling you. Okay, I was gonna sleep, but you know what, we're not. We're pulling an all-nighter today. I made it towards the mouth of the cave, where, you guessed it, more wolves were stalking me. Please don't tell me this is like a giant wolf den or something like that. This is not good. We gotta jump in the water, really. Definitely getting frostbite with this one. After dodging the wolves, I made it in where I finally had peace for a moment. Well, besides the frostbite and everything, I was able to sit by the fire and just chill. Day 18, I cleared out some ice this morning, gathering my thoughts while fishing, and one thing was clear. This cave better open up somewhere or I just wasted all my time. I searched and searched, even swimming underwater, getting frostbite again, until I found it. I actually found the opening. I think this is it. We're getting frostbite, but it does not matter. Imagine if there's actually slimes down here. This would be a miracle. Why is there just a random glow squid chilling? The cave opened up to a massive cave system that actually looked insane. And luckily for me, the slimes were there. Hey, oh, this is a clutch. This is actually, it looks like Boy the villager is surviving winter after all. To celebrate, I just flew around here with the hook launcher. Like, how could you not? And went farther into the cave just to see what else was here. Besides a few more slimes and me breaking my ankles, there really wasn't much else. So I returned back from where I entered, getting frostbite and sitting by the fire. There's only one way out of here, and that is with this grappling hook, because there is no way I'm going through all that with the wolves again. So yeah, now I had to try and find a way to launch this grapple gun thing perfectly so I can get out. And yeah, okay, that was pretty easy. The heck? The sun was going down fast, and I really wanted to set up camp on top of that majestic mountain there. Yo, okay. I gotta say, this is probably the best view I've ever seen in this game. Like, what? Look at that. Sunset over the mountain. And after eventually making it to the top, I just spent the night on the peak. The next day, now that I had what I wanted, it was time to journey back to the village camp. Alright, let's just hope that there's no bears around here so I don't die. And yep, there it is. Hey, the otter is living. You love to see it. Shoot, I didn't even think that the bear could have just ate the villager this whole time. Well, boy was safe, just jumping everywhere like usual. And I picked up the bed, brought the villager on a boat, and we headed out across these bear-infested lands. After rowing for a bit on the canoe, I stopped it to go fishing off to the side for the rest of the day, because as you can see, my health was not in the greatest shape. Somehow, we're gonna have to find another village, get you back to your people through this wilderness. Day 20, now that my health was restored, we paddled through the river, looking for a cave so I could get string to craft a lead and the villager wouldn't just run off in the wilderness next to a bear. Okay, this one looks good. These little things are so annoying. I crafted the lead and was out of the cave. I traveled along the coast of the water looking for anything interesting, and I got what I wished for because a thunderstorm arrived. Well, looks like we gotta build another mini shelter now. I chopped down the trees while getting drenched and created a little tree house while nearly getting struck by lightning. The house was finished and the villager would stay in there while I, on the other hand, cooked up food because I wanted to know what was around these new lands. Hey, check it out. We got sheep on these lands. This right here will make for a good tent. I walked through the rain tonight, finding a whole lot of just trees mainly, until I spotted this giant mountain in the distance of the rain. Is it just me, or does that look like a volcano? I think that's a volcano. But a lot of time went by since I left, so I decided to just head back and explore it tomorrow. When I made it back, I cooked up the food I found, so starving wouldn't be a thing in my mind. And on day 21, me and the little villager here got on a boat and took a shortcut over to where the mountain was. If this is just a mountain, I'm gonna be bummed out, not gonna lie. Eventually we arrived and I began the ascent to the top. Just a man climbing an Alaskan mountain with a giant spear. Here's the moment of truth. Yo, it's a volcano. It's actually a volcano. Yo, there is literally an axolotl on a volcano island. How did that happen? The heck is this one doing? So I tried building over to the axolotl to save it, right? And I kinda accidentally hit it into the lava. That really just happened. Well, I got out of there as quickly as I arrived and scouted for other places while I was this high up. Looks like we are going towards there next. I got to the bottom and the villager here had a visitor. Bro, how was this? This villager is just literally attracting every animal. We climbed to the top of the nearest hill, set up a campfire, and chilled out. When out of nowhere, I heard howling in the distance. Oh my gosh, not the dang wolves again. Okay, we're going down. I'm jumping off the waterfall. I jumped down this nearby waterfall to escape and somehow managed to survive all this. We jumped off a cliff and are now in a giant cave. How am I gonna get out of here? I pushed farther into the cave and it opened up into this massive lush section that looked insane. Okay, boy, if you were going to survive these next several weeks, you're gonna need to become strong. Bro, imagine he just grows up full-size villager right when I say that. Day 22, there was no way we were making it back up that waterfall, so the only way out would be through this cave. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw this little axolotl jumping, so I freed it from the water. And after walking a bit through the cave, eventually this led to an opening, but I wanted to explore what else was in the cave before leaving. So I put the villager in a boat and explored more through this place down here. Yo, how could something like this just spawn naturally? This place looks so majestic. It opened up to a part full of these lights that hung from the roof, and it was something else to look at. Gotta say, this place is looking sick, but I gotta go. I grappled up back onto the surface and walked around looking for food again. It's a group of ferrets just chilling. Sorry sheep, but don't mind if I do. And later, I found a patch of berries and smelted up the mutton from earlier. The next day, I looked for a good location where I could set up a permanent camp, not just these little one-offs. Gotta love this scenery, really. Yo, what is that? That's a possum? I'm not a fan of possums. After getting attacked by the hogs and passing through the woods, I spotted where we were gonna set up the camp. Okay, yep, this is the place. Imagine a nice log cabin and everything set up right in the middle. Literally perfect. I put the villager in the canoe, fought a pig, and chopped up some trees so I had resources to build the log cabin. I created an outline of everything basically, where things would be, and began building. Now I've got a barrel, still a bed and no roof. So to finish the night, I decided to skip some rocks across the river, and a fox decided to show up, which made for great target practice. But yeah, it started snowing again, so everything I had just planned went right out the window. I ran under a tree to take cover with a fire because the house didn't have a roof yet. I was not in the mood for frostbite. The next morning, the snow was gone, but today there was two things that needed to be done. I needed a roof, and I needed to build a house for this villager dude here. So I got some more tree chopping and started this masterpiece. And boom. After a long day's work, the villager will now be living in an outhouse. Here it is. Here, it's even got its own bed and everything. Look at that. These dang foxes, really? These things are gonna be a menace. I wanted to sleep, but things needed to get done. At the top of the hill, I heard a couple chickens, so this was a great opportunity to start the chicken farm, I thought. I brought them into the log cabin, and sure enough, the fox was already trying to do some dumb stuff. I tried chasing the foxes down, but it was already too late, and it kind of killed the chicken I had. What are the dang possums on my lawn? This place is like a zoo. I went deeper into the woods and gathered berries for food to plant and kept on pursuing through the woods, hunting rabbits. Actually, where I came across this giant cave that turned out to be a bear den, so that was perfect. Yeah, I think I'm heading back to the base. I'm not trying to die to a bear. We got eagles in this too. Hopefully they don't just like swoop down and take everything. Since I had wheat and berries, I got to work on creating the farm. We gotta have something sustainable, or I'm just gonna be hunting all day. There, the sun's already here. Oh my gosh, that was fast. The next day I planted wheat along here, although I wasn't sure if they would grow because of the cold, and put trapdoors above it. Why? I don't know. I just thought it looked cool, to be honest. As you know, my cabin was lacking a roof, so that had to be tended to. I collected the wood and worked on fixing it up, and it wasn't too bad. It was kinda starting to look like a cabin by the end of the day. I feel like I'm in one of those wilderness videos where they're just building some crazy mansion out of sticks in the middle of the forest. Oh yeah, your boy, the villager, was just running around everywhere going crazy, so he's kinda trapped now in the outhouse. Yeah, somehow. I wonder how that happened. Day 26. Today I went out looking for sand because I was going to turn my farm that wasn't working into a greenhouse. And you know what happened? I left looking for sand and came back with the ferret. It was just right outside the base, so you know I had to bring it back and gave the villager here a little friend. Guys, we just did a kind deed. This is too wholesome. I ruined the moment by taking out these chicken, where I then got infected, so not a good choice. Visiting the forest I did, and walking into a cave that led right to a dead end I also did, and I was very annoyed. Where are the sands? There's gotta be sand somewhere. Come on. And that's when it happened. A miracle like no other. A river stream led me right to a cave that I followed down, and this place looked perfect. Okay, there's gotta be a trap or like a setup somewhere. There's no way it's this nice looking. Hey, I'll take some coal, don't mind if I do. And I found some iron on top of that. I made my way deeper into this unknown cave, and it led right to an underwater water pool. Should I jump? I'm jumping. It's for sure frostbite. We're doing it anyway. I have evolved, or maybe I've devolved to just not fear frostbite at this point. This is probably gonna come back and haunt me later on. But besides that, we finally got sand. But I'm not spending 100 days mining, so I left with what I got. Hey, more berries? When I got back, I basically ate a ton of berries, smelted that sand, and made a little entranceway onto the farm. The next day, I was a rich man. I had 5 iron and glass. You know what I could do now? Add windows onto my house. Yo, what was that? The heck? I heard a noise coming from the outhouse that scared me, but I just forgot I put the ferret in there and kind of set it on fire. Oh, yo, that was the ferret. Shoot. Things sounded like an alien. I might have overreacted a bit, but maybe not. I'm not too sure. I don't know what I was thinking. The villager just looked at me in pure disappointment. So I fixed the place back up, and everything was as good as new. Except me. Literally, I'm on 1 heart out here in Alaska. But I just ignored that and continued on building the greenhouse. Here you go. Now you have your own personal door. With the amount of glass I had, the greenhouse was complete for now. But you know what wasn't complete? A chicken pen. Mainly because it didn't even exist yet, so I needed to build one. Boom, bam, bop. Now we gotta hope this is fox proof. I brought the chickens in here throughout the night and crafted another iron spear just in case more foxes pulled up and an iron axe. Tonight, instead of sleeping, I did a lot of things. I caught and cooked up fish, chopped down trees, and created an underground section to the outhouse, so this place was not just a little square. I thought it'd be a good idea to connect the chicken pen to the underground part, but I was very wrong. Are you kidding me? The ferrets eat chickens. Why did I not expect this? It was day 28 and things just weren't adding up. They weren't going right. The villager reminded me that's just how life is sometimes, or honestly, I probably just imagined that in my head. So I wandered into the forest to get in touch with the nature. This dang fox again. You know what? All this was caused by the fox. After a lot of running and climbing across the mountain range, I made it to the snowy peaks. And honestly, I was liking the vibes of this place. It was just pure peace. But about a minute after that, I nearly died falling into a ravine. Guys, I think I changed my mind about this place. It's complete terror disguised as peace. Hey, we got frostbite. Would you look at that? The snow-based life wasn't for me, so I ventured on back towards the base throughout the nights, and when I arrived, the wheat still didn't grow. Alright, so at least the berries are starting to show up, so I have some food. Tonight, I couldn't just go to sleep like a regular person would. I went out looking for cave spiders at 3 a.m. And lucky me, I somehow found them. You know what? I didn't get any string from the spiders, but the cave had string, so that it just came in clutch. I finished the night making a brand new fishing pole back at the base, and on the next day, I started trying to catch fish. This gave me an idea. You know what would be cool? If I had a whole pier over here. So I got to work on deforesting this area, creating slabs and whatnot, steps, everything I needed for the pier, and brought my thoughts into reality. Yo, look at that right there. Peak architecture, if I say so myself. It felt nice fishing on this thing for a solid 2 seconds. Then I just used the spear to hit the fish literally right next to the shore. Hey, it's my friend Frostbite. We meet again. Now I had fish and also a couple berries, but it was time to set sail. I went back out into the wild, got distracted by a butterfly, and slept on a mountain. Day 30, just what you love to wake up to. The sound of a pig. Fly free, you're a butterfly, fly away. Today my goal was to climb a mountain, and I didn't stop until I made it to the top. Up here were just a bunch of goats. I'll be honest, I spent way too much time messing with them. There was this baby goat that was left all alone, and I couldn't let it just get eaten by the wolves, so I brought it on the voyage. This might be a bad idea. We ventured across the lands on the way back to the base when a wild boar came out of nowhere. Nope, are you serious? A boar is on my tail. Freezing with frostbites, I raced home in time where I smelted up what I had. And then the goat just attacked me for no reason. I ran around here just throwing the spear at it because I was not about that. But this goat was just dodging everything. So I decided not to do anything and just fixed up a little pen for it. While I was up here, I ended my nights getting attacked by coyotes. The next day, I went outside and said hi to Boy here and the ferret. Then out of the corner of my eye was a wolf. So you best know I was not hanging around there. I went right back into the house until this thing left. And in the meantime, the goat over here grew up. And after waiting forever in this cabin, the wolf eventually ran away. And you know what I did? I went back out there and started trying to do trick shots on the goat. Yo, how did it dodge that? It's just a legend. I guess it is just a legend. I went back out canoeing in the river until I made it into the forest. Here, I explored around and went over a small mountain where I found a llama. Yo, it's a llama. What the heck is a llama doing out here in Alaska? You know what? I am not even gonna ask. While I was up on the mountain, I spotted a campsite of some sort in the distance, but I was already set to take this llama back to the base before moving forward. So we rode back to the base on the canoe. Hey, yo, welcome to the base. Nothing too crazy, but it'll do. I set the llama up on a little pole here for now and went to sleep. On the next day, I made a couple tanning racks and just set them out here in the front. Llama, I can't have you getting attacked by coyotes, so I'm sorry for now. You gotta just be tied up. I really needed to load up on arrows because if something like a bear
pulls up, I am not fighting that thing up close. I went out over the next 2 days gathering everything I needed, like flint and string. I returned to the base on day 35 with the strength of 1,000 arrows by my side, and right at the center of the camp was just a pack of hogs. And on top of the hill was a coyote just watching everything. I'm not having that around here. Nah, not about that. Can't even chill out in my own home. Look at this. I cooked up the bacon from the hogs, and the berries were coming in more in the farm. It was time to build the little ferret dude a place of his own, so he's not just living in the outhouse. So I got to building that, and for now it was just gonna be a dirt shack type thing, but eventually I would upgrade this. I feel like I misspelled lair for some reason. What am I doing? It was day 36, and there was one thing I was lacking in: cobblestone. Since everything is realistic and takes longer to mine, I needed to set up a section just for mining this, so I got to work on a stone quarry for the day, and removed several layers of stone. Why am I loading up on stone? So I can smelt it and create a nice little fireplace that would make it a lot easier to heat up when I got frostbite. Since this base is right next to a river, that is definitely something that will come in use. So today I worked on that fireplace and finished it all up. I chopped down a load of trees because I did not have coal, and my only fuel source was wood. Yo, look at that fireplace right there. That is looking nice. The next day I went to chop down more trees and accidentally chopped down a squirrel's house. Yo, there's a squirrel in this. Look at this little thing. We're taking this back. Imagine making a giant tree house for a squirrel. I collected berries so I didn't die, of course, and started building a tree or something. Guys, I had no idea to build a tree house. I could barely build a tree, but I just kept at it. I spent the rest of the day building this, but I'm gonna be honest, it was just looking like someone threw a cardboard box into a tree. The next day, I took a look around the base, then crafted more leads because I was taking the villager out fishing and to look for his own people in a village. We rode upstream and found a little beaver dam blocking the water along here. Hey, what's up? You want some food? No, of course it doesn't. Every time I try to feed something, nothing eats it around here. I walked away for a second to go fishing, and when I came back, there was a hog sitting in the boat. Well, not sure how that happened, but okay. I barely touched the water and got frostbite, so I fixed up the furnace and started cooking the fish I caught to heat up. We continued moving on until it was nighttime, where I set up a campfire and just relaxed while I wasn't being charged by hogs. Today we rode along the river and found a house. Yo, what is this place? Is this place abandoned? The heck? That was the most random thing that I think I've seen in a while, and I put a sign on it to show I was here for anyone to follow, but no one's following it. After going back through the stream, we pulled off to the side where we found a cardinal. Yo, I love these birds. Look at this thing just flying around, chilling. I climbed to the top of the mountain and lit this to heat up. I don't know what I was thinking because when I woke up, we started an entire forest fire out here. The next day, we went from cold taiga to absolute freezing icebergs. Here we are back at the icebergs again. This place gives me nightmares. Boy, what are you doing? This thing just wants frostbite, I'm telling you. I looked around for a good spot to do a bit of fishing and decided to fish on this iceberg. Everything was perfect, completely under control, until I saw this. Oh nah, I knew it was a bad idea coming here. Now we are stranded on an iceberg with killer whales surrounding us, and a lot of things were going through my mind. I almost tossed the villager out there as bait to make a run for it, but I decided if we were gonna survive, I would have to move now. Okay, yeah, I'm going for it. We're YOLOing it. Don't mind me, just a man running from killer whales across the ice, you know, happens every day. Luckily we escaped out of there as fast as possible. I saw a polar bear on the way out, but after getting attacked by orcas, that was not something I was fazed by. Villager, we are staying far away from here. The next day, I got food from the chickens and tried navigating around this land back to the base. When you see a hot spring, you gotta take advantage of it, gotta say. We rode for a day down the river, but eventually we made it back. Wow, doesn't it feel good to be home, not getting attacked by killer whales. Every time I leave, I swear I just come back with another near-death experience. The villager ran back into the outhouse, and I checked on the berries, which were doing well. The egg I had here hatched a chicken, so yeah, now we just got a chicken, but it'll probably get eaten by foxes pretty soon. This is one of the wholesomest frogs I've seen. Look at him. He's just vibing out here, chilling. chilling. I brought more chicken in one by one and smelted some sand because the villager deserved an upgrade after surviving that intense battle. So you know what I gave him? A window. This villager he's really living the life to the fullest. Day 45. Today I was going to build a fox-proof chicken pen to transfer these over to. Now how exactly am I gonna do that? By creating a regular chicken pen but on top of 100 layers of dirt. I collected wood to make trap doors instead of fences and placed them on top of here. Bro, this is the most intricate chicken pen design I've ever seen. If these foxes somehow still get up here, I'm just gonna go full on extermination mode. I finished the long days of work by fishing and getting frostbite basically. Fish is just keeping me alive through all this. What would I do without fish, literally? Day 46, I thought there was a moving spike just crawling across the ground, but it was this little porcupine. You know, I would keep this as a pet, but I don't want spikes in my hand. I'm good. After collecting a bunch of wood, I began moving the chicken from the trash pen to the one on steroids, basically. And bringing chicken up a little stair design thing was harder than it looked for some reason. I know these are just NPCs, but I wanted to make a little design in here for them, but honestly, it just ended up looking like random pieces of wood. Should I set this on fire? You know what? I'm setting it on fire. Nothing like watching the fire in the northern lights. Very satisfying. Now you may be wondering, where is the llama? Where did this thing disappear off to? It kept attacking everything, being annoying, so I locked it up away from everything else, and it's kind of just been standing up here on this ledge. Today I chopped wood and added more glass to the greenhouse. Another boar in the base, really. Why are these things so annoying? Today I did a lot of tidying up around here, so I was prepared for whatever was to come. Who knows with Alaska? You might just have a whole meteor crash into your yard for no reason. I fixed the landscape around the chicken pen, so now it actually just looked like a big cube, and added a pathway around here. See this wood I gathered? It was gonna be used to create something better for these little dudes. As you can see, it's just a dirt box, so I turned it into a cooler dirt box with a roof. Are you kidding me? This is terrible timing. Out of all times, yo, the llama has no roof. That dude is actually done for if I don't do something. I couldn't just let the llama freeze out there in the open, so I brought it back in here, and now that I think about it, it was really dumb. Now I'm just stuck with a llama in a small room. The next day, I went outside real quick just to check on everything, and the crops were dead. Everything's gone. All the hard work we did, yep, back to zero. Would you look at that? Dang, the wheat guys didn't even get a chance. Didn't get a chance at life. Tough. Okay, I am now freezing to death. Not it. I wasn't trying to die, but I wasn't gonna be cooped up inside and just let the snow stop me. There was one thing I needed, and that was heavier armor. I tried shearing the llama, but that didn't work, obviously, and I used the leftover wool I had to craft some fur coats. I was warm enough to leave the house without dying, but I still needed more armor if I was actually gonna stand in the cold. Right now, there was one thing that was alive out there that could help me, and that was cave spiders. Now I was back on an expedition searching for the smallest creature, but my biggest fear. I hunted all of them down with a spear and just became an absolute monster. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Bruh, man kills a few spiders, thinks he's Tarzan. Besides the cold, there was another problem that slowly lurked into my mind. My hunger was almost at zero. I really don't want to do this. I'm sorry, chickens. I had to take out one of my own chicken here. And I realized just now they've been living here without a roof, so I fixed that as quickly as I could. Now I was finally able to warm up in the cabin with the chicken cooking. Why is the llama going full Beyblade mode in the corner right now? This dude really wants out of here. I created this sign in desperation because I was absolutely starving out here. The next day, I broke the ice to try and do some ice fishing, but the cold flash killed all the fish or something because they were nowhere. Okay, what? The ice is actually freezing over faster than I can fish. I remembered that there was goats on top of mountains, and I was pretty sure they lived during the winter, so I got back on the canoe and just sailed across the river. I climbed mountains, clinching to life as best as I could, and took out the goats. But I came to the realization that goats didn't drop anything. I rowed the boat down the stream and came across civilization of some sort. Yo, I come in peace. Where have I ended up? What? This just looks like a peaceful village. Well, what looked like a peaceful village was full of pillagers when I got in there. Alright, not a peaceful village. Definitely not a peaceful village. Pillagers were everywhere, and now they were after me. Bro, you are telling me that there's a polar bear here too. The heck is this? You know what? There's only one way out of this. I just gotta juke them all. Look at that. That is how you escape pillagers right there. Amazing. The first actual civilization I found were all pillagers, so my luck was turning out great. And on top of that, I'm starving now even more. I wasn't able to make it back to my base tonight, so I got some rest here. I made it back to camp, and now the entire river was frozen. I found a potato back at the pillager base and was eager to test out if I could actually grow something here. So don't ask why, but to make sure it worked, I went looking for sand to make glass, to make an extremely tiny greenhouse for a single potato, smelted the sand, and put this whole science project together. Yo, what am I doing? This is definitely some of the wackiest stuff I've ever made, and I've made a lot of dumb things. I was near death, and there was one place I knew mobs were. The beaver den. I'm sorry, beaver. I really don't want to have to do this. The Alaskan survival just got real. I walked home that night, sad, smelting everything as the start of winter began. Winter came and there really wasn't much I could do besides walk around a little bit and get frostbite, so this was mainly a time skip over the course of the next several days until winter ended. After that long, harsh, terrible winter, the snow finally began to thaw out. When I returned, there was piles of snow just all across the camp, so I cleared out a pathway in the midst of everything. Yo, the villager is alive. This man spent the last 10 days in an outhouse, bro. Legend. I checked up on everything and luckily all the mobs pulled through and lived somehow. I spent today journeying, collecting firewood and digging flint. Tomorrow, we were going on a journey to an unknown part of these lands, and I was going to need arrows to be prepared. I'm sorry, chicken. You've survived a long time, but you gotta go. I cleared the dirt from the greenhouse, so when the time comes, I'll just fill it all with glass. Boy, it's gonna be dangerous and very cold out here. We must dig deep from within if you're gonna pull through. Man comes back from winter, thinks he's a philosopher. Day 69, I was ready. The llama went full tornado mode, almost tearing a hole through space and time, but I managed to get out of there. We left the camp, and I tamed a little blue bird here. This bird right here, guys, coming along the journey. It's probably gonna die, but gonna be the craziest adventure of his life. We trekked a marathon through the forest and spotted a deer drinking water along the edge of the river. Guys, it's time to hunt. Boy, you gotta take this bow here. Bro, this is really what happens when you rely on NPCs. The villager dude ran off, but I was not missing this opportunity. I hunted them down, and now at least I knew we weren't gonna starve. But fate was testing me again. Really, why? This is like a movie scene right now. Do I save the little deer here or abandon it and just keep going forward? I ended up just bringing the deer along, and I told myself I would only just bring it back to the base, and that was it. I don't know what this villager was doing. He was just swimming out here in the river. Who knows what's going through his mind. We got on the boats and took the nearest stream that brought us the fastest route to base camp. Bro, we got like the Walmart version of the Avengers here. This is terrible. How we are all still alive amazes me. I left the villager by the fire and took the deer that night back to the base where it would live next to the ferrets here. These side quests they're gonna get me killed, for real. The fire wasn't too far away, so I caught up back with it, and we were caught in a very bad scenario. Boy, do not move a muscle. Oh, okay, this is bad. There is wolves everywhere. Look at that, sharpshooter level 1000. Okay, note to self, don't leave anything alive near a light source at night or wolves will just spawn in and attack. Day 70, I followed the river and it led right to a sinkhole where I jumped in, of course, and got a few string from the spiders. This all kind of worked out perfect because I was out of leads and this is something I needed if I was gonna go anywhere basically. Why does that bird look like a phoenix? I mean, it looks pretty cool though, not gonna lie. Since now I had leads, I returned to the base with the villager. To reward the villager, I worked on adding a fireplace to the outhouse. So I spent a good bit of time at the stone quarry just mining and smelting up the stone. I checked on the squirrel and this thing must be resilient because it literally lived through everything. Night arrived and the fireplace was completed. Looking good. I like how this all started as a small little outhouse. Now it's just turned into some underground bunker. To end the night, I cooked up the deer and added bits of glass to the greenhouse. You know what's satisfying? Just skipping rocks across the river. But what's not are these dang foxes over here that just keep pestering everything. Everything seemed to be at peace, but there was still one thing in the back of my mind. The pillagers. I knew eventually they were probably just gonna spawn around the base or somewhere near me, so I did not want that to happen. I wanted to take the fight to them, especially after what happened last time. So to prepare for war, I needed a shield. I searched the nearest caves to the base, finding iron, and crafted a shield of the finest quality. Guys, after a couple fish, we are not holding back. We are taking over the pillagers' land. Alright, there it is, the pillager camp. I stood before the gates like Achilles, ready to embark into the unknown. I charged in and went to work. Yo, y'all do not want these hands. Y'all are not ready for this. And just like that, victory was ours. I pillaged through here, pillaging everything I could, and set the compound ablaze. As you can tell, I was not a fan of pillagers. The next day, I went out collecting as much sand as I could carry, and when I returned, I threw it right in the furnace. Parts of the snow were taking too long to melt, so I had to take matters into my own hands, just deleting them with a shovel. And just like that, the greenhouse is now official. I forgot to check on the potato contraption, and surprisingly, this somehow worked, which meant that the greenhouse I just made should work, but who knows, we'll just have to see. I planted what I could, which were wheat, potatoes, and berries basically, before taking a visit back over to the squirrel man. I feel bad for this dude. He hasn't even set foot in a treehouse yet, and he's just been living on the ground. It was rough trying to get a squirrel up there, so I built a stairway that just led to the top of the tree and made for an easy entrance. To start the next day, we tested it out and everything worked perfectly. The llama was also kind of just vibing in the cabin, so I came up with the idea to build a shack for the llama. So now it wouldn't have to do that weird spin thing in the morning every day. I gathered up the wood around here, and while doing so, I encountered a beehive. I am gonna do something very dumb that I've never done before. I'm breaking the beehive. Alright, this is a bad idea. Why'd I break the beehive, bro? Well, I'm out of here. Bad idea. Really, really bad idea. Note to self, stay as far away from beehives as you can. Yo, look, they're mad at the geese now too. The heck is this? Besides coming back with frostbite, I was all good and still alive somehow. The next day, I cleared a space and started building the llama shack for the rest of the day. And here we go for the reveal. The llama, I think, likes it. It's not attacking me. I gathered and replanted berries. There was still an unexplored area I wanted to visit, and I still needed to find a village for the lone villager here. So we embarked on the canoe again, going through a hilly meadow area. Gotta say, I don't know what part of Alaska this is, but it is not what I was expecting. What in the world is that? Yo, we got some horseshoe crabs over here. What the heck? The sun was setting, and right when I was about to go to sleep, I had an idea. On your mark, get set, go. Yeah, it's not working. They're not racing at all. I set up a race between crabs. I don't know what I was expecting. Day 76, we rode downstream and arrived in a colder territory filled with icebergs. This place looks insane. Imagine falling into the water here, you're insta-death right there. Look at that, I guess the villagers just immune to all weather. In the distance, there was a ship that I spotted buried within an iceberg, so how could I not go check something like that out? I did some cool parkour up there and got a nice view of this place before entering into there. And would you look at that, we got a treasure map. Time to go on a treasure hunt. The treasure was very, very far away, but we trekked along anyway just in case we'd find a village along the way. And eventually we made it to the treasure site. Yo, what up, bear? How you doing? Guys, I know not to tease bears. I've learned my lesson. Psych. The treasure was annoying to dig up, but eventually, after a while, there it was. And for the big reveal, I had some pretty decent okay stuff, really. Just there was a heart of sea in here. What was I gonna do with a heart of sea in Alaska? Come on. Day 78, I started the journey back and another snowstorm struck. Bro, you've got to be kidding me. Well, there goes my hopes of a peaceful walk back to the village. At least there's a sheep. We got some wool. I spent the whole day traveling and made it back at the end of the day. When I arrived at the base, everything looked normal, except for one thing. There was a grizzly bear sitting above the greenhouse. Nah, this bear better not have messed with my stuff. I went to check around and somehow the llama broke out of his shack. I hit the bear with the bow, trying to make it get away from the base, but that just made it a whole lot more angry. Why do I always mess with the bears? Well, I rode away on the boats, and this was a tough situation. I went around the side of the base, away from the bear to check on the squirrel, and This dude was just vibing like always. The bear was now in the water, stealing all of the fish that I catch every morning. Are you serious right now? Are you serious? You're stealing the only thing that's keeping me alive out here. Since it was distracted for now, I snuck in and fixed everything back up to how it was. And I even began building an outdoor cooking area, just going back and forth between mining stone and building. Okay, I know this probably won't work, but I've got to give it a try. You ever seen a man fish for bear? Well, I haven't either. And I'm never doing that again. Nope. Really? Now it's taunting me, eating the fish right in front of me. I needed a place I could watch everything from a distance and run to when things go wrong, so I began gathering wood for a watchtower. But first, this outdoor kitchen just had to be finished. I spent the entire day adding the roof and all the little parts onto it, so now it was finished. You know what? This would have been useful about 50 days ago, but better late than never, I guess. The next day, I crafted an iron axe, chopped down trees, took out a coyote, and built a watchtower. If that bear pulls up, I'm coming up here, pulling out the bow. We're chilling. I fell asleep up here for the night. In day 82, I spent the entirety of the day just gathering resources like cobblestone and wood. On the next morning, I crafted an iron pickaxe. I've seriously been neglecting this garden. It's about time for an upgrade. I gathered some wheat and planted that, and I think it was about time the villager got its own room that wasn't an outhouse. So today I worked on adding an extension onto the cabin here and spent the whole day just building it. I thought that I would find a village a while ago. This villager would have just been living out some life somewhere, but somehow there's just no villagers alive out here anymore. On day 84, I finished the room for the villager and brought it in. Hey, how you like your new home? I don't know, not gonna lie, the outhouse was kind of fire. But this'll do too, a room's a room. The villager chilled out in there for the day, and I went to mess around in the woods just to use the last bit of the grappling gun. Yo, a badger. You know what we're gonna do with this thing? We're gonna turn into Spider-Man out here. Oh, we got some iron? Oh, don't mind if I do. Badger, prepare for flight. I went full-on Spider-Man mode, flying from tree to tree, cliff to cliff, and the badger was honestly, it was just there for the experience, doing whatever. The era of the grappling gun broke, unfortunately, and I ended up just letting the badger go. I returned to the base, where I spent the night in a watchtower, and on the morning of day 85, I went fishing. And sure enough, the bear was in the same spot. So you're telling me, this bear has been fishing for 3 days straight. This dude's a madman. I was gonna go off on a very far journey soon, and I didn't want the mobs here to despawn, so that meant I needed an anvil and a name tag. Off to the caves I was for the next several days, getting as much iron as I could. I spent the morning and day fishing, and ended up only getting one name tag, sadly, so I had to choose a mob to give it to out of all of them. So you know who's getting this? Your boy Squirrelio up here. You already know. Later today, I saw a group of chickens in the distance, so I brought them back all to the pen. And on the next day, the villager was now a seasoned hunter, so I took him out for a hunt. Nah, you've gotta be kidding me. You just run. There was a bear that chased after us, and I just sprinted right to the top of a tree. Yo, what is the villager doing? He's literally just swimming away while I'm out here about to get eaten by a grizzly. I realized I had arrows, so I shot the bear with them, and guess what happened? Nothing. I realized I had cobblestone, so I made rocks and threw them at the bear, and guess what happened? Nothing. I decided to make a run for it, and luckily I was faster than the bear. I just picked up the villager along the way, and we went right back into the house. Day 89, this bear had to be dealt with, so it was time for a training arc. Me and the villager went away off to the mountains, climbing all the mountain ranges, just meditating, studying the ways of life, and we have found the perfect area for what we're doing. I built a gym on top of a mountain, a training area with no distractions so we could just level up and become strong. Day 90, the training center was done and the training began. We did a little warm-up along the base here, and we began the sparring. The bees rushed in, so we had to dodge and attack. Bro, why am I doing all the work? Villagers just chilling. The bee strength conditioning was over, and next was the cardio session. We had to hunt down a bee's nest. Hey, there it is. You ready? 3, 2, 1. And a swarm of bees came from this thing, and we ran towards the direction of the campsite to finish the cardio training. Alright. Training is complete. Boy, you failed. But you know what? It's all good. I had another plan. Day 91, I returned to the base. I had a secret weapon, and this bear was no match if I used it. But unfortunately, my battle with the bear was postponed because I heard the chicken getting attacked. Please don't tell me. If it's the fox again, of course, it's the fox. I tried hitting it and ended up letting it go on accident, but it accidentally fell right into the stone quarry, so we successfully trapped the fox somehow. On the other hand, half my chickens escaped though, so I had to put them all back. And now for the bear. I needed as much arrows as possible, so I placed the gravel and broke it over and over, getting loads of flint and arrows. Day 92, I gathered everyone, and it was time. There it is. Alright, I got the flint, steel, and bow ready. What can go wrong? Okay, I think I made it a little angry. That bear is going crazy. I used the flames to make flaming arrows and lit the bear on fire, but it wasn't working. Guys, I missed the bear now. I caused a forest fire. After a lot of hits with the arrow and flames everywhere around here, the bear was eliminated. Mission success, we did it. Besides having half the forest burned down, I was feeling on top of the world. Hey, let's go, some more sheep. Now we can actually craft pants. I had a full set of fur armor, so now I was pretty sure I was cold resistant. The next day, I gathered sand for the greenhouse and tested it out. Are you kidding me? I still get frostbite. Well, that sucks. I smelted everything I got and warmed up, then placed torches around here, and then completed the greenhouse fully. I removed the dirt around it so you could see through the glass and it wasn't covered up, and fixed everything up around the base now because there was nothing here to destroy it. That is until the next day arrived and it started snowing. Today I checked in with all the mobs saying goodbye because it was time for one final long journey. The one thing I had left to do was find a village for the villager here. Goodbye everybody. Squirrelio, I will always remember you. You're a legend. The next 2 days, me and the villager here traveled far across the mountains yet again. But on day 97, something happened. Out of all things to run into, and out of all times for it to happen, we ran into a group of pillagers along the journey, and they got us. We got the random pillager showing up again. Time to deal with these dudes. Wait, where'd the villager go? What the? No. Please don't tell me. Oh my gosh. I think the villager got buried. The pillagers really threw me off, and I was not paying attention. They attacked and distracted me, and the villager vanished. The only thing I could think was it got buried in the snow. I was not letting this slide. I searched for a village, and sadly, there was one so close. Oh my gosh. We were so close to the village. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's terrible. On day 98, I got an iron golem from the village and brought it up to where the pillagers were. And since it hadn't been too long, they didn't despawn yet. The iron golem took him out, but the villager was lost after all this time. There was one pillager that remained, so I put it on a boat, took this dude across the entire country out to the ocean. I'm sorry, but this is what has to happen. On day 99, I let the boats and the pillager drift out in the ocean, where I climbed to the top of a cliff and took it out with a bow in memory of the villager. He was a legend. I traveled back towards the camp, and on day 100, we reached it. Yo, let's go. Guys, we have done it. This was definitely the craziest one we've done yet. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, and comment down below what you want to see next. I really hope you enjoyed everything. Thanks for watching, and God bless.